Dear students, good morning to one and all. As you know, in the previous videos, I have already explained the 9 paragraphs of the biography Vinoba. Now I am going to explain the further part of the biography. That is 10th paragraph. But with all his asceticism, Vinoba has resisted pride of poverty, that subtlest temptation of the saints. He has never urged anyone else to follow his way of life, and he goes his own way with a striking serenity. To someone who asked him if his work would succeed, he replied, "Fire merely burns. It does not care whether anyone puts a pot on it, fills it with water, and puts rice in it to make a meal. To burn is the limit of its duty." So here in this paragraph, Hallam Tennyson explains that how Vinoba followed Gandhiji, and also asceticism here means severe self-discipline. Vinoba is to have self-discipline. So with that, he even resisted or opposed the pride of poverty. So that usually that is a temptation of the saints. So even the saints also have this kind of temptation, that is pride of poverty. That kind of pride should not have a person. That is why Vinoba opposed that pride of poverty. And also he never he never said that anyone should follow his way of life. He never used to tell that. And also he just goes on his way with a lot of peacefulness, calmness. He used to keep calm and goes on his own way, and he does not wish to urge anyone to follow his way of life. And also, when someone asked him that whatever you are doing now, would it will it be succeed? Will you be succeed in your work? He used to reply like this: "Fire merely burns. It does not care whether anyone puts a pot on it, fills it with water, and puts rice in it to make a meal. To burn is the limit of its duty." So he compared himself to the fire. He doesn't care for what others have the opinion, others' opinion. He does not care. Just he goes on and he used to persuade the landlords, and used to get the land, and he used to give it to the landless. He just does his duty. That is how he used to reply when someone questioned him. Out on the mission, of course, fellow pilgrims have to share his Spartan routine. At 3:30 a.m., 12 dry, commanding handclaps echo through the huts where the mission is sleeping. Guests of a poor Muslim are untouchable as often as of a wealthy landlord. They pack up camp, then at 4 a.m. they assemble for prayers and silent spinning. In half an hour, they set off on foot for their next stopping place. When day breaks, they halt for a roadside breakfast, vegetarian and sparse like all their meals. A crowd gathers, and while he eats, Vinoba chats with a people and listens to their problems. By 10 a.m., the party has reached the village where it will stay till next morning. Vinoba settles under a tree to spin and summons the local landlords. In the evening, a meeting takes place in a shed specially decorated with flowers and voodoo lamps. It starts with prayers, then the landlords are invited to declare how much land they are ready to give. Perhaps there is not enough offered to meet the needs of all the landless. If so, Vinoba asks the landless themselves to choose and at the same time encourages the landlords to make their donations bigger. At one place, an untouchable who owned only one fifth of an acre offered his tiny plot since he had just got a job in a nearby factory. Vinoba gravely took a gift deed from him, then endorsed it to the effect that since he belonged to the class to whom land should be given, his plot should be returned to him forthwith. So here, Hallam Tennyson explains how the routine of Vinoba and his followers was. That routine he called it as Spartan routine. So Spartan means strict, hard, harsh. So whoever the follower of Vinoba has to follow this routine schedule, whatever the schedule they have to follow it. Where it was very strict, they have to follow it. So every day in the morning at 3:30 a.m. There was that as per the schedule they have to have 12 dry and commanding hand claps, and also at 4 o'clock they assemble for the prayers and silent spinning. In half an hour they set off on foot for the next stopping place. So usually like this their routine, and among them there were guests of a poor Muslim and even untouchables were there. And when the day breaks, they halt for roadside breakfast. They used to have breakfast at the roadside, and usually they used to have vegetarian breakfast, and also they used to have sparse. Sparse is means little. They used to have a little breakfast and also like all their meals. When Vinoba is having his breakfast, a crowd gathers there. There were the people of the village, and they used to express their problems while having breakfast. Vinoba is to listen to those their words, the problems, and by the time by 10 a.m. They used to reach the village, the next village, and after that, Vinoba used to settle under a tree to spin, and he used to call the local landlords. And also, in the evening, there was a meeting. They used to have a meeting, and also it was a well organized meeting. To that meeting, landlords as well as landless peasants also used to attend, and there landlords used to declare how much land they are ready to give. When perhaps there is not enough offered to meet the needs of the landless, Vinoba used to encourage landlords to make their donations more. or bigger. And also, once at one place, even an untouchable came forward to donate his land. He only had one-fifth of an acre. Still, he came forward to donate it because he got a job in a factory. When he came to give his land to Vinoba, Vinoba received it, received his gift deed, and he officially approved it. And since that untouchable person, he belonged to the class to whom land should be given. That is why Vinoba immediately returned his tiny plot to himself. So this is how, as Hallam Tennyson explains, that is the routine, the schedule of Vinoba. So I will explain it further in the next video. Thank you.